Okay, everyone, buckle up. I'm about to rapid fire on how Zionist Jewish supremacist tentacles have been metastasizing and infecting our planet in practically every major conflict in our modern era, which starts from their cancerous inception in the 1800s and then modernized by Theodor Herzl in 1897. You guys are all hearing about the wildfires in Argentina being started by Israeli tourists, all with the backing of this treasonous Zionist rat bastard who happens to be the Trump and Israel-loving president of Argentina, colluding with Israelis to make Argentina yet another little Israel as they burn down one of the most beautiful regions in our planet so that they can take the land at pennies to the dollar. Did you know that the Zionists have always been eyeing Argentina since their inception? Some early Zionist leaders, including Theodor Herzl, considered Argentina a potential location for a Jewish state due to its fertile land and openness to immigrants, with Jewish agricultural colonies already established there in the late 1800s. Where fast forward to now, there is a massive influx of Israelis, including IOF soldiers, that have moved to Argentina as their Jewish home. Israel is destroying Argentina right before our eyes. And don't you dare say this comes as a surprise to you now, because everything they touch becomes infected and destroyed. Don't believe me yet? Here's a historical rundown. Zionists worked with the Nazi government to force the Havara Transfer Agreement, facilitating the traitorous mass murder of their fellow Jews and the immigration of German Jews to Palestine in 1933. 60,000 German Jews emigrated to Palestine between 1933 and 1939. Israel was forcibly created in 1948. As a result, the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, was formed in 1964. Israel occupied and annexed Gaza and the West Bank in 1967. As a result, Hamas was then formed in 1987. Israel invaded Lebanon in 1978. As a result, Lebanon's Hezbollah was formed in 1982. JFK ordered the American Zionist Council, now called AIPAC, to register as an agent of a foreign government in 1962. JFK was assassinated in 1963. Israel built up the Rwandan forces from 1963 to 1973 and provided weapons to the Hutu regime through 1994. The Hutu power government of Rwanda perpetrated one of the worst genocides in history in 1994. Israel sends Jewish supremacist Dan Gertler to establish diamond mining and oil deals in the Congo in 1997, while Israel also provided weapons to Congo militias. As a result, the First Congo War occurs in 1997. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu authors a book in 1995 where he predicts Islamic militants will plant a bomb in the World Trade Center. 9/11 happens, while Israeli Mossad watch and infamously dance in celebration back in 2001. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu demands that the U.S. attack Iraq in 2002 over WMDs that never existed. As a result, U.S. invades Iraq in 2003 and kills over 1 million civilians. And just like the Iraq playbook, Israel pushes for the U.S. to invade Venezuela this year. And you already know the outcome of that. Israel starts practically every single war in the Middle East since 1948, or just last year, and even some of these countries into this year. Israel simultaneously bombed Palestine, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Qatar, and Iran. And speaking of Iran, aside from the several unprovoked Israeli bombings, Israel has sent their terrorist Mossad into Iran to wreak havoc and demonize Islam through hate-fueled protests and false flags while they are literally destroying and burning mosques as we speak, trying to make it seem like Iran as a whole is against their leaders when that is not the case in the slightest. It is just a ploy to overthrow the current leadership and install a Zionist-loving puppet government, all courtesy of the U.S. and Israel. And as we all know, Israel has been committing a live-stream Holocaust in Gaza and destroying the West Bank and stealing land all across Palestine for not just over 2 years and counting, but for over 77 years, as their demonic ethno-state is still disregarding this bullshit ceasefire that doesn't exist while they continue to ethnically cleanse the population and steal the land until they establish their greater Israel. Israel is known to be the haven of pedophiles and rapists, with their supreme pedophile and rapist Jeffrey Epstein infiltrating our country to blackmail and control politicians on every side of the aisle, only to find out that most of our own leaders are pedophiles and rapists, just like him, in an endless cycle of pedophiles and rapists that are protecting each other from repercussion. Israelis and their fellow Jewish supremacists all over the world are known to have some of the largest networks of human sex trafficking on the entire planet, with even their head of cybersecurity being caught for pedophiling in Vegas before our pedophile in chief let him run away to the haven of pedophiles. Israel is known to have one of the largest networks of organ trafficking on Earth, as they traffic Palestinian organs and tout that they have the largest skin bank on the planet, which predominantly consists of Palestinian skin. Jewish supremacists are notoriously known to be the premier thieves and embezzlers of the finance industry, with one of the most famous being the Zionist Bernie Madoff, where he stole from his own in the largest Ponzi scheme in history, taking money from Israeli and Jewish organizations. Israel is known to mass murder animals and use animals for demonic torture of humans. Israelis are fleeing by the masses and tormenting places like Thailand and Cyprus, where they are literally building settlements and driving the natives out of their homes. And we're clearly seeing what they are also doing to Argentina as we speak. Their sports fans are terrorists who sing about rape as they travel around the world, terrorizing city to city while supporting their terrorist soccer club. And this is all not even remotely touching on the fact that they continuously spit on international law and mock the ICJ and ICC, the highest courts of the land, while they control our governments, news networks, social media platforms, entertainment, banks, real estate, and tax dollars. Israel trains our police forces. Israel trains ICE. Israel supplies all privacy-invading surveillance technology to our fascist governments, while they use their surveillance technology on our fascist governments. They say all of this to you in broad daylight, that they are the chosen ones and we are all goy, or non-Jewish animals that don't deserve what they deserve, which is essentially a privileged life where they can walk around and do whatever the fuck they want, unchecked, which is exactly what we are watching today and have been watching for decades. The infuriating thing about this is that we are just watching and letting this all happen, year after year. When will we all just stand up and realize that there has been one common enemy that we can all unite against? First step is to force them out of power, whether it's through votes or other means. We far outnumber the chosen ones. So it's time we choose the ones that serve no purpose in our society. You know exactly what I mean.